So yeah, let's now move into the post-credit scenes for Morbius. Alex, what you think of them? You could turn your camera back on, by the way.
Okay, because I did watch these. It didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. And it did come out, by the way, that this was a Sony pushed move,
Correct.
Not Kevin Feige or anything like
The
that. This
director
was
of the film itself. I know, yeah.
yeah. So Sony pushed this move, not Kevin. Don't kill Kevin Feige. Good man still. But yeah, dude, what was the logic behind it? I mean, genuinely, um, it's a thing for me. It didn't make sense to have them essentially try to retcon the spell in No Way Home
Mm-hmm.
because again, the way that the spell works, okay, folks, was that anybody who knew who Peter Parker was would be transported to Earth 19999, the MCU Earth, and somehow, some black magic way, that transported Adrian Toomes to another universe, and then when the spell was inevitably undone, kept him there.
Right. Yeah. So you touched on the practical problems, right? That it ignores the spell. He somehow has a suit. I know it's a little different, but the whole point of that suit was it was from Jatari Tech. So
And Stark
did
Tech.
yeah, so did the Jatari invade here, and is there a Tony Stark here? Because the suit kind of operates similarly. It's really weird. I don't know how it works.
Who knows?
Um, but my thing was, it had some of the worst fucking dialogue I have ever heard in my life.
I hope the
What were
food's
they
better in
thinking?
this joint.
Bro, he gets there and it's like if you shot like a film for a school project, like literally this was shot like within 3 minutes.
Yes.
The he gets in and he's like, huh, I hope the food's better in this joint. Mind you, he has no idea what just happened. He is transported. He loves his family. Nothing. No emotion. Just like, I hope the
Literally
food's better in this joint.
throws out the reason that he was a villain in Homecoming.
Right.
Just
Right.
for a food joke.
And then, like, great logic, guys. Yeah, let's just release this person from prison. Yeah,
And
the
another
problem,
thing is somehow he knows Spider-Man's connected to it. How
right?
would he know that in jail?
How does he have any idea? Like, it is so weird because, like, watching the movie, no, Morbius is driving in his car.
Yeah.
Um, this is at the end of the movie when Morbius is like, I got to get away from all this after he kills his friend Matt Smith's character Milo, who also takes the serum that turns him into a vampire. Yeah, there's some weird plot holes in that movie that I talked about on my TikTok, just weird stuff. But yeah, anyways, he goes away because he's got to try to figure out like how to control himself, basically. Um, and Vulture somehow finds him. That I don't mind as much, but it's like, okay, Vulture has a suit. How did he get it? My running theory is that like it's the one you see at the end of TASM 2.
But it's not. It doesn't look like that.
I know, but that's the only thing I can think
And
of.
my thing, I wouldn't have minded it so much if we see the TASM 2 suit just with Michael Keaton in it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have cared because number one, it would have confirmed what universe this was in.
Right.
Um,
Well,
and
we
it
know
would
it's
have,
in the well, by the way, we know it's in the Venomverse
yeah,
because there are Venom references and the director said it.
yeah. So it's like the post credit scene of when he tells him that somehow Spider Man's involved. Well, first of all, Morbius doesn't know who Spider Man is. The only thing that we know about the Venomverse is there is a Spider Man present, but he's gone missing. That's all we know.
Right. And the weird thing is like he says intriguing. I'm like, that's like
How?
if you watch the movie, it's like it makes
What's in?
absolutely
Yeah.
no sense as to why Morbius would care about that at all. His whole point in that movie was really to figure out how he could control himself. The
Yeah.
whole point was to figure out how he could cure his disease, and then when he cured it, and became Morbius the vampire, how can I cure this and make sure that I can live and not hurt people? And now he wants to go and hunt Spider-Man. Why would he care? Why would he care
Yeah.
at all about Vulture? That is basically just Vulture's problem.
And another
Vulture's
problem is, so okay, is this Vulture still mad at MCU Peter Parker, or is he going to be mad at this universe's Peter Parker now, just because he's Spider Man?
right. So if there is a Spider-Man within the Venomverse, and I think it's probably Andrews, unfortunately, um,
Yes.
like because how is Toombs going to get back to Peter at this point?
Yeah.
So he must have to take revenge against a Spider-Man variant. That's
And
what's going to happen.
not only that, how is he going to justify himself as a villain? Oh, Spider Man took me away from my family. Okay, well, it wasn't this Spider Man.
Right.
That'd be like, um,
And plus, how does he know? Again, how does he know it has to do with like how?
and another
How does he
thing
know?
would be he was present on Earth when the spell was casted to erase everyone's mind of who Peter Parker was. It only didn't work on Spider Man's. So
Right.
the three Spider Man remembered who they were and who other Peter Parker variants were, but the villains forgot. So how does he remember?
It doesn't make any sense.
It
First off, the big one just neglects the spell in general, and then just everything after that. Like,
yeah.
his motives now make no sense.
No.
Like no sense at all.
They made perfect sense in Homecoming. He wants to protect his family.
Right.
You know, his job was
Spider-Man was
stolen from
interfering
him.
with his business. That's
Yeah,
basically it.
that's it. It wasn't, and like he even the weird part though, coming off of Homecoming, he covered for Spider Man. He
Right.
didn't give his name out to the Scorpion. So like, bro, what's you Spider Man guy or no? Like,
So I would have much rather, even though, like, do something stupid. Like he gets out of jail in the MCU. He flies in the sky during the events of No Way Home, and he somehow travels through the purple breakage of the sky, and that's how he gets to the Morbius first. That's stupid, but it's a lot better than saying, "Oh, he transported somehow,"
yeah,
even though it neglects the spell. Um, and then you could say, um, you could actually end it there, and then say, Vulture solo film coming in blank, 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 and then that's how you can establish how he knows Morbius. You do
yeah,
something like that. Don't just have him go like the whole. Sony obviously wants to build their own version of the MCU, but with the Sinister Six villains. The reason the
yeah,
MCU's works is because it's crafted properly. This just
yeah.
felt like shit. Let's get Vulture out of all the people on the planet to set up the Sinister Six.
Yeah, it's things like what I also really somewhat liked about this Morbius verse is that it was villains we haven't majorly seen on screen before. We got Venom in Spider-Man 3, but this was Eddie Brock main as Venom. We've never
Right,
seen Morbius on screen before. But then you bring a past MCU villain
right.
into this verse without it making sense. And so you're just like, well, shit. Well, I guess make it make sense because what's fucking gonna happen next? We're gonna find out Mysterio somehow came through, or
So I'm guessing Vulture's gonna recruit Craven now. He's gonna be like, "Yo, you know the Spider-Man guy?" Craven's gonna be like,
no.
"What are you talking about?" But yeah, I'm intrigued. Like Morbius's line's like intriguing. Like what? Well,
What
why
do
do
you
you
find
care?
intriguing about
What do
this?
you care?
He literally, like, again, as you said, Morbius leaves because he wants to discover his powers. He wants to figure out how to control himself. And then he's like, "Oh shit! You want to go beat up a teenager? Let's fucking do it."
That's so weird. It's so weird. I know they're trying to set up the Sinister Six, but
It's
first off,
so bad.
establish characters first, and then
Yes.
secondly, watch films. Watch. It's like almost somebody they didn't watch Homecoming or No Way Home.
Yeah.
They just heard about a spell and they heard that Vulture was the villain. They said, "Boom, let's pop that all in and
Yeah.
bang, we're
Well, not
done. We're
only
done.
that, it doesn't feel like, I wouldn't say it feels like that. It feels like, because again, what we have to keep in mind is that Morbius was meant to take place before Spider-Man: No Way Home. It was supposed to
Right.
come out way before No Way Home was, but it didn't. So the studio had to rewrite it to somehow make sense, but it didn't make sense.
Right.
My thing is this, okay? I made fun of Morbius getting delayed 50,000 times, but I honestly think I would have rather had it get delayed for reshoots and rewrites. So at least the main parts of the post credit scene made sense.
Yeah, I get that.
Again, I quality over quantity here
Yep.
because uh, this shit was ass. Just from how the reviews are coming, just from the post credit scenes, uh, just from even watching clips from the movie online, it's just like, wow.
Yeah, I get it. I get it for sure.